Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It is your Caped Crusader, Cody, and we are keeping it geekly with our brand new friend, Keith Champagne. We're here to break down his latest Kickstarter for Daybreak issue number 1 and 2 and everything in between. Keith, welcome to the stream. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Cody. Thank you so much for hosting me.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I was going over your Kickstarter and man, is this gorgeous. I cannot wait to jump into it. But I noticed that you have quite the history of work that you've done, from writing and being an artist and basically a jack of all trade for DC, Marvel, Dark Horse, and hundreds others. I'm curious, like, what was your first initial step into creating comics?
So I was always like the kid in school where I never paid attention to anything. I was always the one that was drawing in my notebook in the back of the class and failing everything else. But I had told my uncle when I was like 4 years old. He asked me, "Hey, what do you think you want to do when you grow up?" And I said, I think I'm going to be a comic book artist. And I always had tunnel vision on that, like throughout my childhood. That was all I ever focused on. So after high school, I putzed around for a couple of years with regular college, and my fine arts teacher encouraged me to go to the Kubert School. So in 91, I entered the Kubert School. That was my first real step, beyond dreaming and taking a concrete step into the industry. In my second year, I started getting some inking work. And then by my third year, I was working for Marvel in DC.
Wow.
And it was important to me to finish the program. And Andy Kubert, who had helped me break into Marvel by giving them, Bob Harris was the editor at the time of the X-Men books. And Andy had given him my ink samples, and Bob hired me like the next day. And Andy was like, "Listen, you can't drop out. My dad is he's gonna kill me if you drop out." So I was like, okay, I will finish the year. And I wanted to finish anyway. But it reached the point where I was hiring the other kids in my class, my classmates, to do my homework for me so that I would have time to do the professional work throughout the
I love that mentality, though. I love that so much. Was it a hard balance juggling the two?
It was super hard, yeah. Like the Kubert School was really intensive. Part of the way that I funded my way through art school is I worked in a recycling plant, like third shift, like in the summer times. And one of the guys I worked with was going to law school. And we were comparing notes one night, like on our like 3 a.m. like lunch break, whatever you call a break at 3 a.m. And I remember him like being shocked that I did like 6 to 8 hours of homework a night, as opposed to him who was in law school. Like he had the easy road, and so you would think like law school would be a lot more labor intensive, but they really worked us in the Kubert School. The kind of the philosophy that one of my teachers told me was that everybody has 5,000 bad drawings in you, and until you get those drawings out of you, you're not going to do anything good. And so they make you crank out those drawings.
That is intense, though. So you were doing. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's okay, dude.
So how many drawings were they making you do like a day?
Oh, I mean, it's not quite as regimented as like do 50 drawings every day or whatever. It was more, they just kept you working hard in every class. Okay. There were 2 classes a day. Each class was 3 hours long. And then you would have, like 6 to 8 hours of homework a night if you wanted to stay on track with the coursework. And it was important to me to do that.
So intensive, though.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So there's 3 years of that?
Yeah, 3 years of that. And I also worked in an art store my first and second year until I started making money in the comic book field. So to balance like a 30-hour a week job on top of that schedule, like just thank God I was young and I didn't need to sleep that much.
What was you doing to stay awake? Holy crap, man.
A lot of crystal meth. A lot of meth.
I'm sure it got you speeding through the drawings though, right?
I cranked out those 5,000 drawings in a day.
Yeah, that is, man, I could not, that just seems so extensive, but I'm sure it helped, carve the way to bigger and greater things in the future. So you started working for all these different companies. Where were some of the titles that you were involved with throughout the years?
When I first broke in, I was doing the X-Men books. Like one of my very first jobs was inking Joe Madureira on Uncanny X-Men.
Wow.
And then they had me bopping around from X book to X book, like Excalibur doing 10 pages, Wolverine doing half an issue, like whatever they needed help with. And then DC poached me. I don't know why. I guess it was just sort of like, oh, here's a new kid, let's try to get him. but they offered me steady monthly work on Deathstroke and the Titans to start with, and I ended up at DC for over 20 years after that. Like I would tomcat a little bit at Marvel if I wasn't under contract at DC, but for a while I was under exclusive contract, and I was just kept very busy. JSA was a big one for me there. Green Lantern for years, both writing and inking. I penciled some Black Lightning, inked some Black Lightning way back in the day. Superman, I've gotten to write several times and work on that book in art capacity. Pretty much every major character that they have, aside from Wonder Woman. I've never really dicked with Wonder Woman, but maybe someday.
So, is it too cliche of me to ask which was your favorite to work on?
Oh, Superman. It's my favorite character and also my least favorite work experience.
So, what was the reason behind that? Was it strenuous or?
No, I don't really understand some of the editorial mandates that I was given. I mean, I was told at the very last minute, the story arc that I was writing for Superman, the editorial came back to me and they were like, "Hey, we can't have Superman punch anybody. We don't want him punching people." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, Superman's been punching people for 80 years. It's like that's what he does." So I, like arbitrary changes like that I was forced to implement, kind of soured me on it a little bit, and they interrupted the story that I'm trying to tell.
So how do you work around that? That seems like such a big change from his character.
Yeah, I said you guys write the ending. I mean,
I love
the
it.
Story arc, the arc that I did, all kind of culminated in Superman punching out Sinestro. Sinestro had been, what was it? The Parallax creature.
Okay.
Had possessed Superman at a certain point, and it was all due to Sinestro's machinations. And Sinestro deserved a little bit of a comeuppance at the end. Superman was going to knock him out with one punch. I have the art in my files somewhere on the page that was drawn. And they were like, "No, we can't have Superman punch Sinestro. He's not allowed to punch anybody." And so, I don't know, Eddie Berganza was the editor at the time, and he wrote some kind of ending where they had been fighting for like 12 hours and were exhausted. And I didn't even know. I never really read the ending.
Man, you're going to be so upset, too, because they just came out with a Green Lantern movie yesterday. It's almost like perfect timing. And it's like the story of Jon Stewart, and they have Sinestro in there, and he captures Hal Jordan and then feeds him that Parallax demon. And it's pretty much that storyline, but with Jon Stewart. And Jon Stewart has his ring goes through Sinestro and kills him in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why they wouldn't let you punch them. That's why we have some action over on YouTube real quick. We have SR Lander finally got a chance to tune in live. This looks really cool. Some hearts from Strange Planet, and J. Michael Miller saying this looks great, just backed. So didn't even get to Daybreak yet, and we already got a backing. Let's go, baby. Thank you, J. Michael Miller.
That.
Welcome to the stream. So how does it feel to be working on something that you can finally have like more creative control with?
Well, I mean, that's the big appeal of Kickstarter, is just being able to tell stories the way that I want to tell the stories and not have people telling me, weird shit that I'm not allowed to do at the last minute. And I wrote some things for DC, like World War III or Countdown Arena, which are two bigger projects that I wrote for them that had, 15 editors chiming in. And in a way, it's fun when you have all those notes and different opinions. Like, it's kind of fun to connect the dots and find a way to tell a story through all that chaos. But it's a lot more fun just to go off in my little corner by myself and kind of try to tell a story that I'm really passionate about telling. And Daybreak is one of those stories.
I also noticed you're the writer, correct? What drove you from doing writer art on this?
So I have a weird, I don't know if it's weird, but I just have a little rule, a little self-rule, that I never want to draw anything that I write because I'm lazy. And I'm going to write something that's, just really flaccid maybe, or like just really, I'm going to cop out. I'm going to take too many artistic shortcuts. I'm going to, it's better if I work with an artist that will focus their attention and making the art as good as it can be. Like, if I was to work with another writer, if I was an artist for another writer, and I don't like to pencil that much anyway, But if I was to work with another writer, I imagine I would try harder. But working with myself as a writer, I'll cut myself too much slack. And the other side of that coin too is like I'm a decent penciler. I'm a pretty good inker. But there are guys out there that are so much better than me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather have someone who's really like amazing to draw my stories as opposed to my doing, something that's just maybe middle of the road. In my eyes, anyway.
I mean, I think your work is gorgeous. You're saying that, I'm like, dude, like his work is like phenomenal. Like, oh my god. But I also love the pencil and the art and the colors in this too. It is gorgeous. Can you give us a little bit of a breakdown of your creative process when writing this? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, basically, I write in full script. I will sometimes. I mean, this is kind of redundant, but I also almost do draw the issue as I'm writing it, because I like to break down every page visually before I write this actual script. Sometimes it's very loose, like gestural stuff. Sometimes a little more detailed if I get carried away. But my basic process is I try to visualize the story, and then I go back and write the script from my thumbnails. And there are certain things that I want to implement in every comic. I think that, like superheroes, it's all been said and done.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the way that you kind of keep that genre fresh or bring something new to it is you focus on the people that have the powers, not the powers themselves, and kind of focus on their struggles and their personalities and their journeys. We've seen Heat Vision a billion times. It's not about can you burn a hole through a brick wall. It's what kind of person would burn a hole through a brick wall and why. So I try to, put a lot of characterization into my stuff. And like a story like Daybreak, in a way, like I wrote a book with my friend Pete Tomasi called The Mighty, which is coming out from Image, I think next month or the month after. It's coming out again. It's been printed a couple of times. And Daybreak kind of follows the same philosophy as we did with The Mighty, in that we set up the first issue in this world where when you read the comic, we want it to feel familiar to you, the reader. I want the reader to feel like, oh, I kind of know these characters. This feels very comfortable. I've been here before. And then from every issue after that, you start to peel back the onion,
mm-hmm.
and kind of shift the dynamic, and you realize that this isn't quite what I thought it was. And as the story unfolds, you start out with these characters and you feel like they're your friends, and then they take you on this journey, and hopefully you enjoy the ride more. You're more invested emotionally in the crap they're going through.
No, absolutely.
If that makes any sense.
No, fully. And without spoiling too much, can you give us a little bit of a breakdown of what issue's like? Maybe a little bit of an introduction to our protagonist and what kind of story we can expect?
Yeah. So the main character, the book is called Daybreak. The main character is a superheroine named Daybreak, and she is, pretty much the top hero in this world. There's other superpowered characters, but it mainly focuses on Daybreak and her archenemy, Doc Matter. An easy template for these characters is Superman and Lex Luthor as a way to understand kind of their basic personalities. You've got the light and the dark. And the first issue of Daybreak, it starts out, we're actually seeing like the final battle between these two arch enemies, between Daybreak and Doc Matter. And that takes up almost the first half of the first issue. And I think I structured it that way because I want the reader to see like Daybreak triumph against her ultimate arch enemy.
Okay.
And then what happens, where do you go as a hero from there? Like, you beat your enemy. And then what you find out is that she actually has a much bigger battle to fight that she never, saw coming. It smacks her right in the face by the end of the issue.
I love that twist. I definitely, I love how it's off like the beaten path. Like what influenced you to kind of go that route?
See, I'm a little shy about spoiling the
that's fine.
So I'm not sure like how to answer that best, but it was just kind of extrapolated. Like, Daybreak is a little like Superman, and then she gets her powers from the sun. And I, in my free time, I'll daydream and I'll be like, sun-powered characters, what can happen with them? What can we do with someone that gets their power from the sun? They get a good tan, they do this, they do that. And it was just, kind of like connecting the breadcrumbs in a way in my mind, and finding a different angle to take from someone that is solar powered. And then you find out that the source of her power is going to be sort of her greatest battle.
I love the different ways you looked at it and approached it. It seems like it has such depth and like different layers to like not only the protagonist but the story itself. You know, because I don't want to spoil anything myself, but I know, like, you know, what the direction issue 1 goes, and it's a twist that it like when you told me about it, it shook me. Holy crap. I think this would be the perfect segue, though. Let's go ahead. We're going to pull up the Kickstarter for issue 2 and kind of go through it together. So we are looking at the Kickstarter for Daybreak issue 1 and 2. This is the thrilling second issue. In the battle of her life, Daybreak turns to her arch enemy for help, plus a new edition of Daybreak issue 1. Currently sitting at 3,364 of 4,500, 145 backers with a week left to go. Right here is the link once again in chat. Be sure to check this out with us, guys. And if you can't back, be sure to just share that, retweeting it, sharing it on Facebook. That's all 100% free, and word of mouth is essential to campaigns like this. So let's go ahead and check out the video for it and see what we're looking at. Wow, that was gorgeous. Do you want to shout out your creative team?
Definitely. Like on the video, that was created by a guy named Rob Miller, R-O-B-B Miller. He has 2 B's in his name. I'm not sure why. But he colored my graphic novel, The Switch, which came out from Dynamite a couple of years ago. And he's really great at creating these videos. He's an art director for this little new paint company that we're working with. And yeah, I love, like, he did the video for our other project, Microscopic, which is also like just really sharp and cool. Yeah, awesome. Nice job, Rob.
Yeah, and the art is gorgeous too. So who's the artist and the letterer on the project for you?
So Stefan Toshev does the pencils, inks, and colors, and he's an artist from Canada. I met Stefan through I wrote a book called The Silver Streak for Lev Gleason Presents, which is based on the Golden Age Silver Streak character, and Stefan drew it. And we had kept in touch about trying to do another project at some point. So when I started developing this, he was in. He jumped on it. And then the first issue was lettered by Steve Dutro, and I am actually lettering the second issue now.
Okay. Oh, that is awesome. So here is the hero Daybreak, the world's greatest hero, and then Doc Matter, the world's ultimate villain. I love how Doc Matter looks too. What was some of your guys' influences for his design? He definitely looks pretty menacing.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm very hands off in terms of like the character designs and the storytelling. Mm-hmm. Like I mentioned before, that I write in full script, and I do that for me. Like I want to just get the story down the way I see it in my head. But I always tell any artist I work with, like if I have 5 panels on a page and you want to put 19 panels on that page to tell the story, like do it your way. And the same goes for character design. You know, I don't even remember how I first described Doc Matter, except that he has a black hole in his chest. And Stefan just came up with the design on his own. He's really good with character design, actually. I've seen him do stuff for other projects, and he's very good with like costumes and cool looks and things.
I always love that approach, letting your artist kind of take the wheel. Do you follow that because, like, in your experience as an artist too, like it was, you know, what you found best? A
little bit. I think so, yeah. I mean, I never enjoyed being micromanaged by anybody.
Yeah.
Whether it's in comics or in life, and I assume other people don't want to be micromanaged either. Like, like, this kid's a great artist. Like, why does he need me telling him what to do necessarily? Like, just give him the chance to be creative and go off on his own and create his own, visual world with this property. And I feel like if I can do that, it's just a more fun project for everyone involved. Like, he surprises me with his storytelling and with his choices. And I think he has more fun because he has the freedom to just kind of flex.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like his highlighting, like everything about this picture in particular, like it almost looks like it's like 3D off the panel, like because the way he highlighted it here with that color, and then like the bluish green right here with the red. Like I love the different colors and the textures he's able to put into his creation.
Yeah, I really like his color work. I really his storytelling, I think, is great. His panel to panel sequential stuff, and I really love his color work. It's very, like, in a weird way, like, it's subtle. A lot of the things he does, but it's also very in your face, and it's hard to find that balance. But I'd like to see him actually color someone that he'd like color a different artist, not just his own art, and kind of see what that would be like.
Oh, that'd be really cool too. So just a little recap: both of them are strange visitors from a mysterious, faraway planet. One light, one dark, mirror opposites of one another, locked in a never-ending battle. Until 6 months ago, when a lifetime of war between them, the final battle between Daybreak and Doc Matter occurred. Daybreak emerged triumphant. Doc Matter was seemingly defeated, the source of his power seemingly destroyed forever. So what inspired you to kind of have them like be like stuck in this like never-ending war?
Yeah, so this we started to hint at this in the third issue, which I've already written, because I'm always optimistic that these things are going to fund. And it goes into their backstory a little bit in terms of the planet they both come from and why they were sent to Earth. But we don't really like dwell on it. It's just there to add texture to the story.
I gotcha.
I mean, but basically they're just polar opposites in that, she is light. She's, made of light. He's made of darkness. They're the yin to each other's yang. And as we kind of have some flashbacks, in the third issue, we see that like when they were kids, they were raised together. Like whatever family found them in the woods or wherever they landed on the Earth, they were raised together. And then things started to go wrong over the course of their childhood between them. But at one point they were very close. And you'll start to see that there is more to Doc Matter than pure evil. Like he does have something else going on inside of him. It's just very twisted through, the prism of who he is. No,
I gotcha. I love that little backstory too. I would have never guessed that they were raised together like that. So we get a nice little image right here. So we realize that Daybreak heard Doc Matter trying to help her. Like, he was trying to help me. Back in my mind, I kept wondering what he meant. So it's kind of a weird, thing for her to leave off on. But nothing is ever as it seems. And then we find out that Daybreak realized that Doc Matter wasn't fighting to destroy her. He was battling to save her. So that was such an interesting twist too. I really, when I was reading over this, that kind of took me by surprise. And I didn't see, when you were telling me what she was going through, I didn't foresee that happening either. So definitely going through some rather, not lack of better words for a pun, but going through some dark stuff.
Yeah, it's going to get pretty hard for Daybreak before this is all over. And it might not end up in a way that's very good for her at all. Not every story has a happy ending, and hers may not have a happy ending.
No, I love that. So we also, this is from New Pain Productions. So do you want to give us a little bit of a breakdown of what that is?
Yeah, so New Pain Productions, it's partly my company. It's partly Tom Nguyen's company. My friend Tom Nguyen is also an inker and an artist and a comic book fellow and a good friend of mine. And Rob Miller, whom I mentioned before, is our art director. And we have a business guy kind of overseeing it a little bit. And it's just a way for us to kind of try to build something. I think Kickstarter I think is a great tool for creators to, as we were talking about before, to kind of try to tell their own stories. And I see people on Kickstarter that are able to really sustain their careers through this platform. A lot of people say Marvel and DC are the number one and number two companies, but I think if you do it on a per dollar basis, Kickstarter probably generates maybe more money than either one of those do per year. I don't know for sure, but I think it's made it's become a viable outlet to produce these projects, and so we're kind of giving it a shot together. See if we can create something cool.
I love these covers so much.
Oh, thank you. That's all Stefan. Like everything from the layouts to the compositions, everything is him. I mean, that one there is Kevin West, one of our guest artists.
I love Doc right here in this too. This is gorgeous.
Thanks, dude. So
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Where were you going?
I don't even know what I was saying. I was just word salad.
No, that's fine. But yeah, these are some gorgeous covers. I am loving this. And then we get a little bit of a risque one too. Is this something that was included with the first batch with the Kickstarter, or is this something new that you guys are trying?
So this is something new for the second issue, and actually, like several of the backers contacted us, and they're like, "Hey, you should do like a naked cover. Like people are into these naked covers." I'm like, "Okay, well, we'll give it a shot."
Yeah, if the people want it, why not?
So we're giving it a shot. We'll see if it pays for itself and contributes to the greater funding goal.
I love how it's
we'll keep doing.
Her in front of the sun too.
Yeah, she's sunbathing. But we wanted to do something that wasn't like X-rated necessarily, but more of a classy naked cover, if there is such a thing.
And then while we were talking, I pulled some preview from that you shared on Twitter, and the artist shared on Twitter from your first Kickstarter. But here's a preview look at second issue. So they are partying, they are hamming it up. They're getting ready to knock out 5,000 pages of art right now, huh?
Yeah, or something. Well,
I love how he chopped it up into high too.
So actually, he doesn't. I know it looks like that, but what you see is this character that erupts on this next page. His name is Snow. He's kind of like the Sandman, except he's made of cocaine instead of sand.
I love it. Oh man, the Snowman. That's like a perfect. That goes hand in hand. That is so crazy too. Like, what drove you to want to do a villain? Is he a villain? I take it.
Oh yeah, he's a villain. Yeah,
like a drug-based villain. That is such a crazy concept. I don't think has that ever been done.
Probably. I mean, everything's been done, but hopefully ours is done better.
Yeah, no, I love it. Oh my god, that is so awesome. So
and that character Snow was a character that was introduced in the Switch graphic novel I mentioned a little while ago.
Okay.
And it's just we have a cool character. How do we find a way to work him into this book, or what can we do to just kind of connect things just a little bit? Not that we're building a universe, but like you create these things, might as well just keep them going.
Yeah. So are we gonna see villains that are gonna be of a different design and concept like this? Like Snow seems like such a different type of villain. I don't think you said it's probably been done, but I have not seen that happen in quite some time. Like, are we gonna see villains of this nature throughout the other? Because there's gonna be 5 issues that you guys are gonna be working towards in total, right?
There might be more villains in here. I can't confirm or deny that.
No, I gotcha. And some artist preview as well.
Yeah, we like to do the black and white edition because we can, and they're cool. I love to see the stuff in black and white, and especially Stefan does so much tonal work, so many gray tones and things that it's cool to see, the subtleties in his art.
I really like how you guys let the detail be colored too. So the flame, the flames around her is colored, and everything else is black and white. I really love those small attention to details too.
Yeah, I think that's cool too. I don't really understand the computer process of doing that. I'm not a colorist or anything, but he knows what he's doing. It comes out great.
So here's a look at some of the characters as well. So we have our main protagonist, Daybreak, Laura Lutz, the world's greatest hero. Then the equally brilliant, insane, and evil Doc Matter. And then there's an ultimate foe that's yet to be revealed right here.
That foe is coming. I mean, you kind of get a hint of what it's going to be at the end of the first issue, but it's going to take another turn. So people might, catch the cliffhanger at the end of the first issue and think, oh my God, this is going to be that kind of story. And it might zig and zag a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And then we have Dawn Risen, the Machine, and then the Custodian. So I love these characters too. Can you give us a little bit more about these guys?
Sure. So the Machine, what we find out in the second issue is that she, aside from being Daybreak's best friend, she also is Daybreak's liaison with the government. As we start to build out the world, you see that there is some checks and balances for a character with that kind of power. We don't really dwell on it that much, but it's just again, adding some texture to the world. Like, this is how that world works. If there was a character like this in the world, this is what would also need to be there to, to work with her. And then, well, their friendship takes a turn also in the second issue for ways that are organic to the story. But the Machine's a fun character, a pain in the ass to letter. The way that Steve Dutro created the word balloons, I've been having a hard time trying to make it as cool looking as he did. But I think I got it. But she's definitely labor intensive in terms of the lettering in the book. But like that's a character. Maybe someday, if this is successful, like the Machine gets a one shot or something.
Yeah, no, that'd be really cool.
The Custodian is he lives up on the moon in Doc Matter's hideaway, and his job is basically to take care of the place. Especially Doc is in jail as of like 10 pages into the first issue. And so he's just kind of up there doing his thing. And, he has an encounter with Daybreak that sort of points her in the direction of where her life is or where her battle is headed. But he's a fun character. And if we get to issue 3, which I mentioned has already been written, like there's more to him than meets the eye too. Okay.
So let's go ahead. We'll take a look at the creative team. So we have Man of the Hour Keith right here. And
that would be me.
The artist, you said Stefan? Did I say pronounce that correctly?
As far as I know, Stefan.
Pronunciations are surprisingly my weak suit. I usually let Google pronunciation take the helm for me minutes before the interview. So, Stefan, if you're watching, I'm sorry if I butchered that for you.
I'm pretty sure it's Stefan. I mean, we mainly text. We talked one time through the Skype.
That is that's wild. Just the amount of detail that is in the comic, and you guys communicate like that. That is just our insane, the way he's able to take the wheel and just like create this. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's to me what the collaboration is about. It's just giving him the free reign to do his thing.
And then real quick, these are the same rewards that are on the side, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have some visuals for the rewards.
Okay.
There are more rewards on the side than there are visuals.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go through the visuals. And then I'll try to go through the visual and the side at the same time. So for $10, you're gonna get Daybreak issue 2, or I'm ahead of it. Excuse me. So you can pledge $3 or more just to be a friend of Daybreak. At $7, you're. Huh?
I was gonna say she could use all the friends.
Yeah, yes. We need more friends. We are so close to getting this funded. With a week to go, they usually say the last day is the heaviest, though. So I'm in high hopes. It looks like you're right there. I'm
stressing on. I'm not gonna lie. Like we had a big cancel today, like a $400 cancel this morning.
Wow.
And things are just picking up like the past like day and a half, or it's starting to bring some money in.
Do you think it was like? Do you think it was like a troll type thing? I heard that was kind of a thing that was prevalent with Kickstarters, like where people bid high and then they cancel last minute.
I mean, I think that happens. I like to think this wasn't a troll.
I gotcha.
I give people more credit than that, but hopefully not. But that definitely like was a kick to the nuts today when I checked where we were at, and I was like, "What happened?" Like we were just making some headway.
Hey, still plenty of ground to cover though to make more head. We're gonna do you justice. We'll try to get this out for you as far as possible. For $7 though, guys, you're gonna get the Daybreak issue 2 mega PDF. So this is gonna include the full issue of Daybreak, issue number 1, plus the script to the second issue. Please note, digital reward not automatically included in other tiers.
Yeah, so with the PDFs, I like to try to jam them and give people extra content in the PDF, almost like you get with a trade paperback where they'll throw some sketches and things in the back of the book. I just try to make it a little more special than just a regular PDF.
I like that. So for $10, you're going to get the regular cover edition, so 28-page print edition of Daybreak issue number 2. And then you'll get for 10 as well, you'll get the issue 2 artist edition. So that's going to be black and white with like the small color changes to like the bubbles and the effects.
Yeah, I mean, we want to give people options in the second campaign that missed the first one to catch up. So you can either buy the book on its own, or there's a bundle where you can buy number 1 and number 2 together in the rewards.
And then it looks like for 15 or more, you're going to get Daybreak issue 2 Kevin West variant. So
let me try it up top there.
Oh, it's up top?
Yeah, you scrolled past it before.
Oop. Wait, right here?
No, it's go up. Oh, wait, there it is. There you go. I forgot there was a graphic for it right there. A little bit further, right? That's it.
Oh, right there. We got to it. So we have SR Launder over on YouTube. I'll admit I'm not normally into superhero stuff, but this looks really good, so it got my money. Good luck with the rest of the campaign. J. Michael Miller, that PDF tier is such a good value. It really is. I love that, and maybe we'll see more of that. I love how you're packing as much value as you can into that.
I almost wonder with these, I've been dwelling on this the past couple of days, is just offering the PDF on Kickstarter and then making the print of the book, printing that like a stretch goal. I don't know if that's something that's viable or not.
Yeah, I'm the guy that interviews people about these, but that does seem like something, you know, it would incentivize people to want to get that stretch goal, you know, so they get the print copy of it. I interviewed one person who was running a Indiegogo, and their book was black and white, but if it hit a stretch goal, that gave it the option to be colored. So that's, I guess, maybe in a similar vein, but like a little bit different. So I mean, I definitely could see it happening.
Yeah, something for further thought down the road, maybe for a different project.
So also for 15. Go ahead.
I was going to say, this is the Neil Edwards, the Doc Matter variant cover.
I love it too.
Neil's a British artist. I work with him quite a bit on different projects. And he was nice enough to put this cover together for us. We wanted to do something different, and instead of just having another shot at Daybreak, we were like, hey, how about something that focuses on Doc Matter, who's, you know, kind of the co-lead of this book. He's not just a supporting character. So there he is in all his rage and glory.
We have J. Michael Miller. It's a good idea. It probably helped backers get more invested in the success. I would say so too, especially I like the script idea. I think that was a really cool thing too. Incentivize people who might be wanting to write, so they, you know, take a look at the script and then take a look at the book itself. I think that's really cool. Another
thing with the script, offering the script also, is I want people to see the changes that Stefan makes from the script to the art. Like you'll see in the first like 3 or 4 pages of the book, I didn't have any supervillains in there. That was all Stefan. He was like, hey, I don't want to draw. It was originally like these rich billionaires. He's like, hey, I don't want to draw billionaires. Like, I'm going to just do my own thing here. And I was like, all right, let me see what happens. Let it rip. And he came up with all those villains, and it, you know, then I had to rejig the dialogue and make it kind of figure out and fit what was happening in the art, and it worked out better for it.
Oh, that is so cool. So $5 more, you're going to get the Daybreak issue 2 naked cover.
Yeah, not just a naked cover, but that also has alternate content in the book. So there's more nudity in the book.
Okay.
I mean, there's no nudity in the regular edition, but we have swapped out some stuff in the naked edition so that it's not just a cover where you're going to see some titties.
Okay. All right. I love this too, the coffee cup. So you can get the caffeine coffee cup. I'm looking for the cup of Joe for $30. So that is so awesome. This is great. Is this color changing at all, or is it just the static image?
That's just the static image, I think.
I gotcha. So I skipped over this. So for Daybreak issue 1 and 2, so together you can get $20. So that's the bundle of the first 2 issues as a combo tier, 56 pages of Daybreak action. So I didn't want to skip over that too much. And then for $40, we have the Daybreak 2 combo. So backers of this tier will receive the regular Kevin West and the Neil Edwards variant cover editions, plus the Daybreak Mega PDF. So that seems like a really big bundle for $40.
Yeah, it's all 3 editions of the comic, not the naked edition, but the other 3 editions, and then with the PDF, which we don't include with every single tier.
Yeah, and then $50 or more. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It is available as an add-on, the PDF.
So $50 or more, you're gonna get the costume. So you'll get Daybreak issue 2 Mega PDF, the regular cover of issue 2, and the T-shirt. So this T-shirt's pretty awesome. I really love this cover you chose for it too. This cover is gorgeous. This is the one I chose right here.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm a T-shirt guy. I love T-shirts. I got 600 T-shirts in my drawer. So anytime I can make a T-shirt, I make a T-shirt.
So for $60 or more is going to be the retailer tier. You'll get 4 copies of Daybreak issue 2, 3 copies of Daybreak issue 2 Kevin West variant, and then 3 issues of Daybreak issue number 2 Neil Edwards variant. So that is a total of 10 books altogether for $60, an outstanding price on that one as well.
Yeah, I think so. And I might even do a signing for it.
Ooh, that'd be really
drop me
cool.
a line if it's convenient. I'll jump in there.
So pledge 100 or more Total Eclipse. You're going to get the Mega PDF, the regular cover, the Kevin West variant, the Neil Edwards variant, the Artist Edition, the T-shirt, and the coffee cup. and then the consolation prize. So you got some really good bundles in here. So you get everything up listed besides the coffee cup and the shirt. Instead, you get the Kevin Champagne head sketch. So swapping out the shirt and the coffee cup for a head sketch. Is that a head sketch of any character they want?
Any character they want. I'll be drawing those.
Cool. So 140, you get the Daybreak 1-2 Collector's Dream. So this includes variants from the first Kickstarter?
Yeah, that's got the regular cover from the first one, the Ali Garza cover. God, who else did a cover for us? I don't remember. That's Ollie's pencil art right there, which is available as a reward. I can't, without putting my glasses on.
Val Simics and John
that's right.
Dell.
Val Simics and John Dell did a cover. That's right. Yeah, Val's a great guy.
Sorry about that.
John's the best inker in comics, so they put together a great cover.
And then 200 or more, you get the John St. Pierre sketch cover. But you're also going to get the two variants and then the regular cover as well.
Yeah, and if you scroll up, it was the sketch cover is a bit up there.
Right here?
No, that's a splash page from this issue. It'll be the next black and white thing you see.
Right here?
There it is. Yep, there it is.
Oh, that's gorgeous. So that's both the back and front.
Yeah, Joe did a wraparound sketch cover for us. Well, for me as a favor, mainly. And that's a copy of Daybreak #1 with that exclusive cover, which I think is cool. So I inked that the other day.
That is so awesome, yeah. And then Daybreak issue 2 original splash page. So is that the one I scrolled past down below?
Yep, that was the one that shot a Daybreak flying at you.
So that's 300 or more. You're also going to get the regular cover and then the two different variants by Kevin West and Neil Edwards. And then 400, you'll get this one right here. This is gorgeous too. I love these original prints. Like these are awesome. Yeah,
that art, that was the one that was canceled this morning. Someone had snapped that up very quick in the beginning of the campaign and then released it back into the wild today. So if anyone else wants to jump on that piece, I think it's great value for 400. The art market is wild, like the prices on that stuff. So get it while you can.
And then right here is the Kevin West original cover art for $450, and then you're also going to get the regular cover and then the two variants as well.
Yep.
And then the naked cover right here for $500.
It doesn't have the black bars on it, the original art. It's just so people know.
And then that is all the tiers right now. So let's go ahead and make sure I didn't miss anything down towards the bottom. Total Eclipse bundle. So this is just kind of images of the bundles. And then the stretch goals. So at $6,000, you're able to offer the Daybreak issue #2 stretch cover to backers. At $8,000, a free 11x17 print illustrated by Keith Champagne, which was right here, right?
Yeah, that one there. So
this is gorgeous. I love this.
Thanks. That was colored by a guy named Rich something or other. I can't say his last name. Stonk, I think it is.
Your guess would probably be way better than mine. And then at $10,000, it's a mystery. So we're going to have to hit that goal for you guys to find out.
Yeah, I think at 10,000, everyone's going to get a naked picture of Tom Nguyen.
And then approximate shipping cost. So United States $9, Canada $22, the UK $22, and the rest of the world $23. These looks like some really good shipping prices too for international.
Yeah, it seems to work out okay that way. I know, like after this campaign was launched, the post office they doubled the price of media mail, which is how these were sent out. So I think the shipping money is going to be a little tight, but we'll get it out there. We'll get it to people.
And then risk and challenges, of course, you can't really predict world pandemics and paper shortages. So it should pretty much covers that.
Yeah, I mean, this is New Pain's third campaign this year. We had no issues in terms of getting the books printed and shipped out. We ship everything out like a month after the campaign ends. So it basically is a 3-month process of launching the campaign, getting the books printed, and then in the third month the books are in backers' hands and we launch another campaign. So, but I think it's really important to build trust with backers that way. A lot of these campaigns they run years late, or then people never get their books at all.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to do it the right way, like make sure like you can count on this book coming. And so far we haven't missed a day. That
is awesome. So does this cover your Kickstarter in its entirety?
yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this one.
So after taking a look at your Kickstarter, for anyone that's on the fence about backing, what would you like to say to them directly to kind of help push them over?
Please.
Please.
No, I mean, I really care about this project. There's a very good chance, even if you don't know my work specifically or my name specifically, there's a better than average chance I've produced some of the books that people have read over the years. I mean, I'm almost up to 30 years full time in this industry. So there's probably a good chance you've enjoyed my work before, even if you don't know my name. Take a chance. I think this is probably, one of the best things I've written so far. And I love the art. And I really care about the story that we're telling. I want this thing in people's hands. Like, I'm not doing this just for myself. I'm trying to bring people a good experience too. And, these are characters I think you can easily care about. And there's a dynamic between them that I think will draw you in.
So is this like your first step away, like where you can create your own like IP?
No, I mean, I've had several creator-owned projects over the years. I mentioned the Mighty earlier, which was a weird kind of carve out with DC, where DC published that as a creator-owned project. They don't often do creator-owned superhero projects.
Yeah, no, that's really cool though.
I did a book for Image a long time ago called Armor X. That was my first creator-owned project. And then I've done several through Kickstarter before this, like The Switch. There was a book called Frankenstein, Private Detective, which was a lot of fun. And then, a book called Microscopic. There's one called Cuda. And then Daybreak. So was that 7 maybe? But I want that. Yeah, I mean, I want that to be my future. Like, I want to just, how many times can I go back and work on Green Lantern? I don't have anything left to say, really. Unless they pay me to say it, then I'll be like, I'll think of something to say now.
So, that leads me to my next question. What's next for you in the future? I mean, outside, I know you have 5 issues planned with this, maybe more, but like what outside of Daybreak are you looking at trying to start up, or anything that might be buzzing around?
I've been doing a lot of work on the Stranger Things books for Dark Horse the last few years, which are a lot of fun. And they let me write the one that came out this summer, which was a lot of fun. I'm really a fan of that show, and I had a lot of fun playing in that sandbox. I think you'll be seeing more of that work for me in the future. I have a project for Aftershock right now that I'm writing called The Death Whisperer. And we finished 2 scripts for that. And it's being drawn now. So they'll announce that soon. That hasn't been announced yet. So guys, don't tell anybody. I just said it out loud. And then I'm enjoying, doing more conventions and trying to meet people and promote this whole new pain thing.
How's it feel to be working with Stranger Things? Like, do you get to kind of do you have room to play, or do you have to follow like some sort of like guideline they give you? I've written licensed stuff before, like Xena was one of them. Ghostbusters was another one that I wrote in the past. And Stranger Things was the easiest in terms of like people poking their fingers in. They gave me a lot of room. Both Netflix and Dark Horse, like, really were easy to deal with. I have 0 complaints about that. Like, it was an easy process. Even awesome. Everything goes through Dark Horse to Netflix, who then read it and then they approve, or they might have a note or two. I had a very minor note about one of the characters, very easy to fix. Took 2 seconds to revise the script, and boom. So what's your thoughts on season 4? Are you vibing with it, or?
I dug it. Yeah, I dug it. It had definitely
so
more
awesome.
of a horror vibe. It's a fun show for me. The appeal of the show is like I watch it with my 12-year-old, and it's just a good time to spend together. I remember when the first, it was released in 2 chunks. So the first chunk of this season 4, we had gotten through like 6 of the episodes. We had 1 left to go. And it was just coming through Memorial Day weekend. And my son really wanted to watch it before he went back to school because it was going to get spoiled for him. Like, everyone's going to be talking about it in the hallways. So we got up at 4 a.m. And we watched that last episode, and then got ready and took him to school. And like, from a parent point of view, like, that's my favorite times, is just chilling with my kids. So
it really is. Like, last night I had an interview, and after the interview, my significant other and My daughter's watching. We got she just started getting into Harry Potter, so we got the little DVD box set, and they're watching the Chambers of Secrets, and she's in there like in complete awe about it. And I remember reading that book when I was a kid, you know, when I was like her age.
Sure.
And like to see her like, and it's like 11, I'm letting her stay up, and I'm like, you're gonna be so sleepy in the morning, but like, let's do it. Like, I live for it, you know, because those are moments you can't get back. You know, comics are out there forever. Your story is out there forever, but like those moments with your kids, like, can't get enough of them.
Absolutely, yeah. It was, you know, I was so pleased to get up with him that morning.
So before we wrap up things 100% completely, Keith, as much as this is a podcast to really, you know, showcase you and your book, it is also a nice little platform for indie, you know, creators. When they watch, they, you know, maybe they take a little piece of advice here, a little bit of wisdom here, and, you know, maybe they're able to kind of get their own story started. So with that being said, for anyone that's out there who's kind of struggling with their own story or getting started with their own book, and they just have a, you know, they're having a hard time just getting going with it, they're just like stuck in that writer's block, what type of advice would you give them to kind of work through that?
Ooh, that's a tough question. Stay off your phone is the first bit of advice. Like I would give you, if you feel like you're blocked, don't jump into your phone or the internet or check your email. Take a walk, maybe, like do something that completely takes your mind away from the writing, but doesn't suck you into a black hole of wasting time. I find if I can get away from it in my conscious thought for a little bit, then my subconscious will maybe solve some problems that I can't quite figure out. I also, at this stage, I've been doing this a long time. Sometimes I go most of the day and feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. And it's natural to doubt ourselves as creators. Like I'm here alone and I think what I'm doing is good sometimes I'm not sure. Trust yourself, trust your instincts. And I guess the last bit of advice I would give is that the work is not going to do itself. Unless you make yourself sit down and write that book or draw that book or color that book, it's not going to get done. Like you can't just wish for it to happen. It takes some back-breaking, grinding labor to produce these comics. And if you love to do it, it doesn't really feel like that. But you do have to sit down and you do have to get it done.
That is awesome. That is awesome. We have SR Launder over in the YouTube saying all very excellent advice. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. That was fantastic. I really love the putting the phone part, putting the phone down. Like I find myself like whenever I'm having, you know, trouble, like maybe writing up a review or something, like doom scrolling, you know, like, oh, maybe I'll just like knock a few moments off and just kind of unwind. The walk, like it stuck out to me a lot though, because when you get out there and you start walking, start talking to yourself, you really start working, you know, that mental like exercising, and I think it really helps a lot.
I think so. I mean, it works for me. You know, I'm not able to run physically anymore. I have a leg injury, but when I was younger and I could run, that's where I did all my best problem solving. Was I'd go out and I'd run for 2 hours in the morning before the sun came up, and like I hit the table like ready to go at the end of that.
You are a go-getter. I'm still waking up in the morning. You're out running 2 hours. Oh man,
Keith, I'm an early bird.
This has been such an awesome talk. I really appreciate you stopping by. Everyone watching, again, here is the link to the Kickstarter. If you can't back, just be sure to share it. Share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter. I'm sure you have a friend who is going to love this story. Daybreak is such an awesome character, and I cannot wait to see you take this to the end. Keith, once again, thank you for swinging by, breaking it down with us, and just your history as, you know, a creator in the industry. It's been awesome, man.
Thank you very much, Cody. I really enjoyed chatting with you. This is probably my favorite podcast I've done all week.
Oh, come on. Thank you.
Maybe you. All year.
I'm going to be writing. I won't be able to get my head out the door if you keep it up, Keith. Everyone watching, it's New Comic Book Day. Treat yourself to a new book. Make sure it's Daybreak issue 2. Most importantly, guys, keep it geekly.